Okay, let's talk about what it means to be in a key. And then we're going to look at some examples and ways of finding out what key we're in. So, we like to use this word home a lot when we're talking about keys. So, by home, we mean where things are most comfortable, where it feels like they land, right? So when you're listening to a piece of music, you might be playing through, the song might have a bunch of chords, might be moving around between chords, and one of those chords feels like what we would say is home. It feels like you could end the song on that key. That's the biggest kind of way to tell is where the song ends and sometimes where the song starts. Um, that idea of home and that chord that makes it feel like, oh, I could stop there. That's the end of the song. That's what key you're in. Whenever you hear that chord, or if you're just looking at a melody, that single note, then you can tell, that's what key I'm in, right? So let's look at an example of that. So I'm just going to make a random melody here. Okay, let's make these a little bit longer. Okay, so let's hear my little random melody now. Oops, let's slow that down. Okay, so when I get to this last note, it feels like a comfortable place for the melody to end, right? I know this is very subjective and very hard to kind of wrap your head around at first. So let me do it incorrectly and see if that makes sense. Let's do this. Now I'm going to move this note, this last note, to be not the key, not a comfortable place for us to end. So let's hear what it sounds like now. Right? It doesn't feel like this is the end. It actually feels like this wants to go down to there, right? It feels like it needs. And that's one very obvious way to tell what key you're in is to figure out what feels like the thing could end there. So, what else do keys tell us? Once we figure out our key, the biggest thing our key is going to tell us is what are all the notes I can play? If I know I'm in C major, if I know that's my key, which it is here in this example, that tells me every possible note that I can play that's going to sound good in C major. That's the most important thing you can get out of a key is what are all my notes I can do? What are my possibilities? That's why we've been sticking to white notes, because white notes are all in C major. And I know that no matter what I do in C major, it's going to sound good if I just stick to white notes, because they're all the notes in C major. So the biggest thing about being in key is just to remember that once you figure out what key you're in, it kind of opens all the doors and says, oh, I can use all these different notes. So when you're writing a track and you say, okay, I've got this melody, I don't really know what to do next, you can just think, well, what key am I in? And where can I go with it? Because once I know what key I'm in, I can look at all the possible notes that'll work, and then I can start to explore moving my melody or my harmony or whatever to those notes and might find some new possibilities. So that's what it means to be in a key. It basically means we're locked into a set of notes that all sound good together.